Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about one of my absolute favorite books to use in elementary music, and that is Drum Dream Girl. This book is great all year round, but it is especially wonderful during Hispanic Heritage Month because the main character, who is a real person, by the way, is a Chinese and African Cuban girl who becomes a drummer, and she actually was really famous. She did drumming in a salsa band for the president of the United States, so she was a pretty big deal. And so this book is so cute, really encourages kids to help go after their dreams, and it's really sweet. Also, I will say the illustrations are gorgeous, and so I absolutely love it. And all of that, and along with all of that, it's also kind of short, which may not be on everyone's list, but I have a very short class period, so I am always looking for short stories that we can incorporate that won't take tons and tons of time. There are some really great longer ones, but I just prefer the shorter ones because, again, we got a lot of stuff to get to in a very short amount of time. So today we're gonna be talking about how you can use Drum Dream Girl in your elementary music classroom. I don't have a ton of like directly from the story activities, but they're all kind of like extension activities that you can go along with. All right, so the first one might be an obvious one, and that is that you can do a drum circle. I love drum circles. They are so much fun and a great way to get kids to play lots of different instruments. So how I set up my drum circles is typically we will have either kids sitting in a circle, or we will set up the chairs in a circle, and then the kids get the instruments, and I'll pull out tons of different drums and percussion, and then after about, you know, a minute on each one, we'll switch to something else. There's lots of different things that you can do in a drum circle. A great place to start is just echoing patterns. So I do a pattern, you do a pattern, kind of call and response. You can also have them improvise. So I do a pattern, you do a different pattern for, you know, 4 beats or 8 beats or however long you want to make that happen. And so those are really good places to start. You can also add different call and responses. So like if I say this, then you do this. And those are really great and easy to accomplish. One really fun thing is body conducting. So I have one kid come to the middle of the circle, and every time they step, we play a note on our drums. And so they can, you know, go quickly or they can go slowly, and they can do all sorts of really fun things. And sometimes the kids will like dance and things like that, and it is so much fun. And so they get to be kind of in charge of how fast we play, how slowly we play. It's a great time. They love it, and it is super easy and so much fun. You can also play along with different songs. So especially if you've been learning some Hispanic songs, you can play along with those. You could do recorded songs. You could do some salsa songs that maybe Mio would have done. All those things are great. You can also, of course, do, you know, different rhythm cards, because always looking for opportunities to play rhythms, and different ostinati. This is a little harder with the little people. I usually use this book with 1st and 2nd grade, but you can teach them different ostinati to play along with whatever song you have been learning. So whether that's something you want to do or not, you can also learn about the percussion family. So using Drum Dream Girl is a great time to really incorporate lots of different information about the percussion family. In particular, we always learn about how there's different ways you can play them. You can hit, scrape, or shake. So we'll talk a lot about the instruments you hit, instruments you scrape, and instruments you shake. And we'll do different like sorting activities. So if we're doing a drum circle, usually at the end we'll say, okay, if you play your instrument by scraping, bring it up. If you play your instrument by shaking, bring it up. Or you can do different activities where the kids who are all scrapers are doing one thing and everyone else is doing something else. You can kind of do different things like that to really highlight the differences between each one. You can also talk about different drums. So in my room, I have congas, which are the really big straight drums, and then my personal favorite is my djembe, which is the one that kind of goes like that shape. So you can learn about different types of drums. The bass drum, you can look at different drums. You can talk about how some are higher and some are lower. Those are great things to incorporate. I actually have a whole lesson pack for Drum Dream Girl. I will link it down below. It's all printable activities. They're super easy. If you have to be out, they're really good to link with a sub, but you can totally use them with your kiddos as well. But just, you know, if you're looking for some sub plans that are on point like that, those are ones I would do. But there's a whole sheet where it has lots of different drums, and you just kind of match the drum to the name, and then of course you can color the drums in to make them all nice and pretty. So that is one thing that is included in there. The next one is drumming along with the book. So you can come up with your own little activity. I found one from Music with Miss P on YouTube. I will link her down below, and she has a really cute read aloud where after each one she's drumming and invites the kids to drum. And the phrase that she does is toca toca el tambor, chica de los sueños. And that means play the drum, dream girl, basically. And so you can do that at the end of each page. I like to pick words that the kids can play after, so maybe every time you say drum, they can do that, or, you know, dream, or whatever it is that you want to pick that shows up a couple of times so they have multiple opportunities to play along with the book is a really great idea. Next up is to write your own music. So I love doing this because in the book, Mio talks about how she hears music everywhere and she's coming up with music everywhere. And she talks about all these different places that she comes up with music. And so now we get the chance to come up with music. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. You can use the printouts from my printable activity, and you can have the kids write their own rhythms. You can then take those rhythms and have the kids play them on the drums, or you can do, you know, all sorts of other composition activities. You can have them come up with like a speech activity. You could have them record themselves doing things. You could do really cool things with Chrome Music Lab, like the I don't remember which one it's called, but the one that makes like ostinatos that has like the little like monkey playing the drums. You can use that one, or you can use the song maker to have the kids make up their own song. You know, all of those things are really fun and easy ways that kids can compose on their own without a lot of help and just be really creative. Next up is salsa. I love doing salsa. Salsa is a really fun way to get the wiggles out, first of all. And also Mio, the main character in the book, plays salsa music, so it just like ties in perfectly. I love, I will link a video down below that is my favorite one to show the kiddos that helps us to learn salsa. It's just a really easy step, and we can learn it, you know, in 5 minutes and do it along with a couple of songs and then be done. And it's just a quick way to get those wiggles out and also just, you know, experience a different kind of dance and a different kind of cultural dance. And the last one is, of course, when you're talking all about dreams, you have to talk about the kids' dreams. So make sure that you take the time to ask them what they dream of, what they, you know, want to see in the world, what they want to do in the world, all of those things. There's lots of different templates for that in my printable activities, which again are linked down below, so you can check those out. Or you can just use, you know, paper. You can have the kids draw what their dreams are. You might get some that say like unicorns, but really try to make it, you know, what do you dream of the world? How could the world be a better place? How can you, you know, kind of make a stamp on the world. So whichever one of those activities you pick, or if you pick something completely different, I highly recommend that you check out this book. It is so good. I usually could borrow it from the library, but this year I actually purchased it myself, so I now have it and I can use it every year and I don't have to worry about whether or not I can find it in the library. So I'm very excited about that. I did just take it to school this morning, and I did not think to like bring it home so that you could see it, but you know, it's all good. So if you have other things you like to do with this book, leave them down below in the comments. I would love to hear more ideas and activities to go along with the book, because again, I love it and I use it like every year. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.